Testing, testing. Here we are again, and I'm continuing with this import Rhino script syntax and import rhino.geometry as RG into Python, Ghpython nodes for grasshoppers. So what I'm doing is staying dead simple. Now I could go so simple on this, it would have been just terrible to even sit through. And I am going to take this to another script where I'll do something with it and make it a little more interesting than its base script. So you could import Rhino script syntax as RS. Now, it's not recommended, in my opinion, and certainly from Jeremy Graham's videos, to import Rhino script syntax as RS and then import rhino.geometry as RG, because you're going to end up just not knowing what function's running. You can miss out on an RG and an RS because they're so close. That's not making sense. I'll just basically say that import Rhino script syntax as RS. You could just use a for I in range 10 and print I, and that will go to the output. You can see that prints from 0 till 9. And because I'm then running rhino.geometry as RG, and I'm going into for I in range 5 and printing I, it's still going to use the same knowledge as up here. So to check that my Rhino geometry script is basically working, you would want to comment out your Rhino script syntax, and you can do that with triple quotes. And now let's see if it still runs, and it does. Nothing comes out in the top portion A, but you're seeing you're just getting 0 through 4 because your Rhino.geometry, Rhino common script is working. And of course, I didn't have that written out for me. I'm just basically going from Rhino script syntax basics and trying to find a way to write this into here. And once I get it to work, now I will go back into this, and just to make it exciting, throw on a circle a couple things here. So if I actually don't calm this out, sorry, this is a little confusing. Maybe I'm making it confusing so it sounds somewhat interesting. Let's run it again with both. And now you can see you can kind of play off the circles. And all I did was bring the output of A into the plane to indicate the plane of the circles, and then use the B as the radius. And then I reversed that. The A as the radius and B as the plane. So that gives me two sets of circles to play with geometries. So nothing fancy yet, but it would have been a little dry if I just showed the same points being generated. So that's why I threw that in there. But once this is working and I know my import Rhino script syntax, I am going to go back into here, into the next section, and I will take out this, and now I will try and do something more fancy. Excuse me. I'll try to do something more fancy with this script, but basically going off of step-by-step building. That last time we got into realizing that Rhino script syntax uses add point function on or method on RS or Rhino script, and we have to use point 3D if we're going to do. And you can see the similarities, and really that's what I'm doing. It's stepping in, showing that smooth translation, and as I start interpreting this computational design aid book, this Chinese text, it's going to be fun to follow that pattern. Right now I'm following the pattern of another website called, and I want to bring it up here because it's just amazing. It's ATLV, and I've shown that to a couple of people on some clips, but this is absolutely amazing. I can go into here and I can go into Grasshopper Python in the education section, and that's what I'm starting with, the basics. I'm going through here, grabbing my Rhino script, and seeing as I slowly go through here, it's going to get more and more complex, and I have a harder and harder time translating this from Rhino script into Rhino common. I'm going to have to go more and more into developer samples here, so I can go in a Rhino column and find out things that are similar to what's happening and not write in C and take from these scripts. So it's going to get real hard real fast. So bear with me on this. Hopefully by the time I get through a few examples here and learn how to deal with this ATLV and go in and find their examples in Rhino script, I may pull from that, and I may actually pull from a course I'm doing at Future Learn, I think it's called. Yeah, and it's a course on pretty cool what was the course use that I was doing? I should have it here. I'd have to sign in to get to it, but it's a computational class. It's being taught, and I'm kind of running through that. So I've got plenty of examples online where I can find Rhino script text. I have a little few in specific that I have to go in, and it's Rhino developer to see what's happening in Python there, and I'm not a C+ writer. My goal is to get through this. It becomes second nature to go back and forth from Rhino script syntax to Rhino geometry, and knowing Rhino geometry is going to help me go into C#, which is going to allow me to start fathoming how I can make these patterns and these geometries. And like I said, as I get into this, my next script is going to import math, and these are basically all I'm going to do for what I have. and what I brought in as a point system and now going through a iteration, I think my geometries are actually going to jump just in this short period of time. It's still about your creativity. It's not about how you do things. Anybody can learn how to do things, but you have to make the decisions on what needs to be done and what you need to fix that. And of course, you can turn this into things that are actually more meaningful. The data can be driven by more meaningful things, and the outcome can tend towards whatever you dream, be it architecture or jewelry or automotive or just abstract sculpture. It doesn't matter what you want to take this, but to start to cluster everything I've been thinking geometrically into Python nodes is going to, in time, assist me in going into the wonderful math nodes and starting to deal in C#, and that's something I'm doing. I think I'm doing well, or at least I'm trying to do well. I don't even know if I have that favorited up here, but I'm going through some of those tutorials online as well. So lots of angles coming at this, but really the main goal is being able to write Rhino script back into Rhino geometry for speed, for a sense of knowing how to make cleaner code, and learn Python as best I can. So thanks again for watching. I'll keep processing these. I'm probably going to get back into making 4 or 5 of these videos a day. School's running, and I have some time in the evening. I have quiet time in the morning, so I think I can do a few of these. So thanks very much for watching, and please just keep join the private group, which is now Ghpython script on Facebook group, and do this, play around with it. And anybody picking up the text on Rhino script geometries, Rhino script syntax, try and translate some of those alongside me into Rhino Common and see if that's something you're interested in. Thanks for watching.